What's up, everyone? This is All Destroyer 229, and welcome back to Let's Play Persona 4. Last time, we continued to develop our bonds. They are getting up there, and we are still finishing up plenty of social links. It has been raining for a few days now. And tonight is the night that we can finally check on the Midnight Channel. But we're probably not going to do that. In this episode, this is actually the first time... Wait, why are we getting this now? Weird. I guess this is the first time that we're gathering everyone when it's not in operation. In this episode, we are heading on over to the TV world. Today is a free day, and we don't really have anything that we can do. So, we are going to be spending today heading into the TV world and doing the stuff we usually do first whenever we are in the middle of an operation. So we are going to work on finishing up some quests and defeating the optional boss in Naoto's dungeon. Before we do anything though, let's go ahead and confirm the situation just to see what everyone says. I didn't realize that Yukiko basically spilled the beans about that. I don't usually check the situation with that, but I mean, you could pretty much assume that's exactly what happened. Oh well, whatever. No real reason to check the weather report. Regardless of whether or not it's going to be foggy, it doesn't exactly affect our ability this time around. So let's not waste any more time and head into the TV world.
Let's go then.
Okay, so like I said, we are going to be doing all of the, well, stuff we usually wait until the first time we head into an exploration. So, quests and optional bosses. What we are heading on into first is Void Quest. There is a quest that requires us to get something here. So we are going to do that first. So we are going to bring along Yukiko. And thankfully, since it's not in the middle of the operation, people are just kind of like, oh, we're training here today? Okay, cool. Instead of just being like, why are we here? We're gonna bring along Kanji as well. And since this is the first time we've had access, we are also bringing along Naoto. Indeed. So we are going to try to finish off this quest while going over Naoto's capabilities in battle. So, Naoto. If we take a look at her equipment, we can see that Naoto's weapon of choice is guns. So she will straight up shoot enemies. She, of course, is female, so we can give her some equipment. Oh, we'll give her the breeze too. Why not? And then in terms of accessories, what exactly would be good on Naoto? Bat Charm, maybe. I'm not quite sure what would be good on her. Or the Falcon Eye. We'll give her the Falcon Eye. So what about Naoto's persona? Well, let's go ahead and enter a battle first, and then we can go over her capabilities. It's a little bit different than how I usually do it, but I think explaining Naoto's capabilities is much better with combat than simply explaining. Oh, that will work! Oh, crap! Oh!
Our moment has arrived. Let's go.
Okay, not quite what I expected, but sure.
Precisely. Here goes.
Well, that is not at all how I expected that to go. But I'll take it. Thanks, Naoto. Let's maybe change that so that way you don't just attack on your own. Change battle tactics. Let's change Naoto. You are going to direct commands like everyone else. Yes. Okay, let's find something else to kill. And then we can go over Naoto's capabilities. Wow, they're laying it thick with the gold shadows. So Naoto is a specialty character, and it's really hard to explain what all she can do. So let's go ahead and go over what all she can do. Naoto has a lot of different capabilities about her. You can see she has Tempest Slash and Deathbound, so she has some pretty decent physical attacks. She also has Mudun and Hama-On. So she is very good at going with insta-kill moves, in addition to almighty attacks. Naoto doesn't have access to any elemental spells, and instead focuses on these more specialty types of attacks. So she's actually pretty good when it comes to fighting normal shadows, but a little bit more lackluster when it comes to bosses. Okay, Supreme Hand, I will hit you with a Megadola.
Let's go.
Because you do not resist that, and you die.
Well done, everyone.
Now, I say that Naoto doesn't exactly have the greatest capabilities in terms of dealing normal damage. In fact, actually, hold up. Let's go ahead and see all of her skills. I'm not sure if she has any passives. No. She does get access to more powerful versions of these spells and Mind Charge, including more powerful almighty attacks. So a Mind Charge Megadoilon will still be pretty damn good, even if you are using her to take down bosses. Now, what was the thing that I was going to mention? Well, I've mentioned previously that in Golden, your party members can get various different spells that they wouldn't have access to normally. Well, what the developers did with Naoto is pretty insane. sometimes your allies will get, like I mentioned, spells that they wouldn't get otherwise, like Yukiko getting darkness spells. But with Naoto, with each rank up in Naoto's social link that doesn't give her just a passive ability like it is in this game, Naoto gets a single target Dyne spell. So she eventually gets access to Agidyne, Bufudyne, Garudyne, and Zeodyne. Essentially, they made Naoto into the most broken character in the game. So yeah, I'm not quite sure why they did that. But yeah, in Golden, Naoto is stupidly broken. Like, she can wreck literally everything. So yeah, Naoto I consider a really good character. But damn if... Like, seriously, if you just want to screw around in Golden, bring Naoto. Because, my god, does she just wreck literally everything. And I got the item that I was looking for. It is from those giant robots. So the ones that don't really have that much HP, but can dish out, well, not really dish out. Well, they can dish out a lot of damage, but it's mostly their resistances are really freaking high, but have a low amount of HP. Also, you can't cheese it with almighty attacks. I just tried that with Naoto. It didn't do all that much. Yeah, a little bit of a shame that, well, you know, why don't we bring along Naoto a little bit further? We'll bring her along for the first few floors of the secret base. Because I would like to show her off a little bit more. So maybe if we find an enemy that... Well, find an enemy that we need to fight... Or, well, or if she gets a cut-in, which is also something that I would like to show off, and her all-out attacks. That, too, would be something I would like to show off. Alright, will do, Rise. And I don't really feel bad about going after the gold chests here. We have a ton of chest keys, and we didn't actually get all too much here, so... I don't feel bad. Neko. So while we're going through the secret lab again, I would like to go over a history lesson. Or two. Since we actually have now 3 history lessons that we can potentially go over. Though, I would like to save one for the next time we head back into the TV world. So, we are going to go over those 2 today.
Hear me on the turtle!
Not quite what I was going for, but...
There's no end to this.
But yeah, so that's Yukiko's cut-in for her new persona. I was more so going for Naoto, but hey. So anyway, onwards to the history lesson of the day. As soon as I murder your face. So, we are first going to go over Naoto's persona, Sukuna Hikona. Now, Sukuna Hikona is a dwarf kami who is associated with sake, medicine, and hot springs. And essentially, he's more so seen as a healing deity. Now, when I say dwarf kami, there's a specific sort of image that I want to invoke that might be misinterpreted otherwise. So when I say dwarf, I don't mean something like out of Tolkien, in which it's like small but stout and have like a really long beard. No. Wait a minute. that what I think it is? Finally, something for Kanji! Thank goodness, I have been searching all game for something for Kanji. So yeah, when I say dwarf, don't think of like a Tolkien interpretation of a dwarf. Instead, think of a being that is quite literally 1 inch tall. Yeah, the Japanese interpretation for dwarf is vastly different from how we would view it as the West, or in the West. Oh, well, that is funny, considering that we just got the Fortune Arcana, and we were going over the Fortune Arcana's persona, we get the Fortune card. Awesome. Ooh, and it's Okotu Seikun too. So yeah, that's more so the interpretation that we're going for in terms of the word dwarf. Man, seriously, another Maneki Neko? Now, in the Age of Gods, Sukuna Hikuna arrived in the Izumo province in a small boat made of bark and goose skins. Remember, he's 1 inch tall. He doesn't need that big of a boat. Now, the ruler of the Izumo province, Okuninushi, he saw this tiny god, but when he inquired about him, no one seemed to know who this mysterious god was. But when he inquired further, a toad suggested that Okuninushi consult the god of wisdom, Kuebiko. Now, who exactly was Kuebiko? Hey! Okotu Seikun leveled up! Nice! And he gets Zeodyne! Perfect! That's exactly what I wanted. And I do realize that I wanted to show Naoto off a little bit more. A little bit hard to, but I think I might just do it for the next battle. So, Kuebiko was a god of knowledge and agriculture. He couldn't move from where he stood, but he had a very keen awareness of the entire world, and really, not only just the world itself, but even of heaven, where the celestial gods reside. And why not? We'll show off Naoto just so I can show you guys what exactly I've been trying to do with her. Do I have any personas? Well, regenerate. That's not exactly regenerate. Yeah, I don't have any with invigorate anymore. Well, damn. Could use experience. And I would actually be sort of keen to rate. We'll bring Kukule. What exactly am I trying to do with Naoto? Well, mostly, I'm trying to use Deathbound because that hits all of them and multiple times, and hopefully try to trigger a crit.
All yours.
Not quite. It does use up a good amount of her HP, which is why I use Yukiko to heal her up.
Thank you.
But that's mostly what I'm trying to do, so that way I can show off her freaking cut-in. In terms of spells, let's show off how Sukuna Hikuna triggers a spell. Damn it. Were you weak to fire? Probably not. Well, this is gonna hurt. Oh, really? You're gonna target me?
It ain't going down.
Oh, I'll guard, and then maybe...
Let's go.
Damn it. As soon as I find an enemy that's weak to...
That's what comes of underestimating me.
Also, I would show off the end quotes, but I keep getting shuffle time. So I would like to show those off as well. While we still have... Well, while we're still using Naoto before I switch her back out for Yosuke. Ooh, a Cyclone Magatama. So, Kuebiko told Okuninushi that the dwarf in that boat was actually the son of Kami Musubi. Why is this significant? Well, Kami Musubi is part of the Kotoa Matsukami. This might sound familiar, and, well, we'll go over that after we deal with this. Perfect! Let's see you deal with this. Well, no cut-in, but whatever. They're weak to light, they're weak to dark. Let's maybe try that again. Or not. Dang it. Oh well, they're dead. And we get anything from Shovel Time. Fuki, Thoth, and Triglav. Let me try for Thoth. Well, thanks, game! Alright, Rise! So, the Kotoa Matsukami were the 5 original gods that came into being. These were the 5 gods who existed before the Kamiyona... Again, really long names. Kamiyona... Yonayoi. Really hard to say. Basically, this was the group of gods that Izanagi was a part of. So yeah, Kami Musubi was a god that was in existence well before Izanagi. Hey!
I need to strengthen myself too.
If Rise levels up, then we aren't far behind. So yeah, kind of a big deal, Sukuna Hikuna was. So yeah, I'm actually looking through my notes and I went, wait, didn't I already say that? So yes, so the son of Kami Musubi was Sukuna Hikuna. Or, well, there is actually another name if you go by different translations, which is Sukuna Bikuna. So, different names, but ultimately the exact same being. Ooh, new enemies!
More enemies. They're
I
wide.
was wondering if we were going to see any rain-specific ones. The Rainy Brother ones.
No problem. It'll be over in a flash.
Garudine. Okay, so, well, you're usually weak to ice. What's my dedicated ice persona? Do I even have any personas that know ice moves? Yes, Kikori Hime. Perfect. I got really worried there for a second.
You need to clear them out.
Nope, they drain ice. Okay, well, when all else fails, use Almighty. That worked.
Just the result I expected.
Ooh, wow, we got 2 of them? Neat. So after learning this fact, Okuninushi went back to Sukuna Hikuna and tried to welcome him. Please let it be something good, like maybe some mail armor. Sigma Drive. Have we had that before? Sigma Drive. No, we haven't. Lowers chances of being critically hit. I think that's Sharp Student? I think that spell does the exact same thing. So, decent, I guess. So, when Okuninushi went to welcome Sukuna Hikuna, he made the mistake of picking him up because, you know, Sukuna Hikuna was an inch tall. And this did not go well with Sukuna Hikuna. In fact, once Okuninushi did this, Sukuna Hikona went and bit Okuninushi on the cheek.
I leveled up.
Alright, Yukiko! Nice! And she learns Diarahan. Perfect. Let's see. I guess I can get rid of Agirao because just having normal Diorama would still be nice to have for the time being. So yeah, we'll get rid of Agirao. And next is Samirakarm. Nice. So, despite the rocky start, Okuninushi and Sukuna Hikona would actually become some really great friends. And in fact, Sukuna Hikona would help Okuninushi protect Izumo from any number of diseases and wild animals that would come and threaten it. And we get a third one! Together, Okuninushi and Sukuna Hikona would make Izumo into a very rich and bountiful nation. One that would not be trifled with for a very long time. God dang it! Wanted armor, instead I get the third freaking shield! That I didn't even want in the first place. Now, this sort of tale when it comes to very small individuals. It's said that Sukuna Hikona was almost the originator of these types of stories. So whenever there's any sort of character who is either cursed or is just born to be incredibly small. So, some examples of these sorts of stories where you have like a 1-inch character trying to basically find their place in the world despite their limitations. Some of these stories include the tale of Mamesuke, Kaguya, and probably the most famous of these stories, Isunboshi. Oh! So yes, that is the tale of Sukuna Hikona. However, this is actually really interesting. This will not happen if you're in the middle of an operation, but if you are exploring the dungeon just normally, there is a chance that you can run into your other party members, including the fox as well, and the fox will offer its services. So here we have Yosuke and Teddie. Hey guys, what's up? Not much. Seem to be doing well, Yosuke. And we get some actually a unique item, a cough drop. I have no idea what that does. What does that do anyway? Cough drop, cough drop. Where exactly would it be? Probably with the other cough drop Yosuke gave you. Restores 10 SP. Huh. Now you can also just talk to them, and they will just kind of offer commentary between the two characters. Oof. Yikes. Sorry about that, man. Well, I guess just always be careful. So yeah, they will talk about stuff that is happening even during some social links. I remember in a practice run, there was Chie and Naoto in one of these things. And Chie was kind of teasing, saying like, oh, I hear you're spending a lot of time with Naoto. Poor Kanji. And then Naoto got really embarrassed, like, what exactly are you talking about? So yeah, they will just talk about various different things, specifically dealing with the different social links. And yeah, normally we wouldn't have access to that except that we are maxed with Yosuke. So depending on where we are in terms of the levels of our party members in the social links, they'll offer different pieces of dialogue. And like we saw here, the other character will also chime in. So yeah, I actually have no idea just how many of these types of banters there are. Simply because for a max social link run, you rarely ever need to go into the TV world that isn't dealing with simply rescuing someone. Since that's the most efficient use of time, is just plowing through the entire TV world all in one go. So very often you will miss these types of dialogues. Aw, thanks, Teddie. Oh, what is it? A chewing soul! Oh, hell yeah, thanks, Teddie! So yeah, kind of an interesting tidbit, and one that is very easily missable if you only go into the TV world during a time of an operation. So let's see what Teddie has to say. Oh, you're welcome, Teddie. Okay, so yeah, very interesting. And yeah, like I mentioned, sometimes you will also just find a character and the fox here. And the fox will still offer its services. Okay, I will actually go ahead and switch out Naoto. Actually, since we'll bring along Yosuke with us, I wonder if the characters would change. Let's find out. Ooh, the fox is in a good mood today. And he gave us a chewing soul. Thank you, Mr. Fox. Alright, 5,000 yen. Mostly I just want to get rid of that, and that way our SP was full, and also so we just heal up Naoto. Not that we'll really use her too much anymore. Also, I wish we could have seen the cut-in, but whatever. What you gonna do? So Yosuke! Go ahead and switch out for Naoto. And let's head back to where we were. I want to see if the characters change now that Yosuke is in our party. No, it just turns back into a regular room. Okay, interesting. So yeah, you can't just farm those conversations, in case you were just wondering. Alright, well that is certainly good to know. Ooh,
It'll be over in a flash.
new enemies. Probably rain-type enemies as well, judging by the name. The Rainbow Twins. Alright, let's try ice. See how well this works. Weak to ice!
We can smash them all! Let's do it!
Let's go for it.
It's my turn!
You know, it just occurred to me that I didn't actually get any other all-out attacks when Naoto was in our party. Aside from the one that she caused by accident. Ooh, Cascade Ooh! We are really lucking out with these rare materials. Nice. Yeah, so I didn't show off any, like, all-out attacks with Naoto. Oh, well. Now, on the topic of Isun Boshi. I know that kind of ended on a very odd note, but in case you aren't aware, Isun Boshi is perhaps one of the most famous stories involving just a dwarf character within Japanese mythology. Now, if you're not quite sure about, like, who exactly Isun Boshi is, all I can say is, if the name Isun sounds familiar, then you're probably familiar with Okami. Ooh, a black feather. What is that? Let's find out. Black feather. Increase resistance to darkness. Interesting. So yeah, basically, the story of Isun in Okami sort of makes sense when you think of it that way. And speaking of Okami, we have another history lesson to go over. We're going to skip over Amaterasu for now, but, oh, hey, Chie and Naoto. We're going to skip over Amaterasu for now, even though you'd think that segue would be perfect for Amaterasu. But instead, we are going to go over our other new persona, Yosuke's evolved persona, Susano. Before we get to that, though, we have some more conversations. Chie and Naoto. You know, this might actually be that one conversation I saw in my practice run. But first, stuff. Oh, is it meat gum? It's totally meat gum, isn't it? Oh, wait, what? I don't recall that. Steak Skewer DX. I'm sorry, Chie, what the hell kind of stuff do you get? Steak Skewer DX. Holy crap! A secret menu item that Chie gave you fully restores an ally's HP. Damn, Chie! The power of meat! Alright, let's see what she has to say. It's friendship power! Completely different from the power of friendship because it's not a Deus Ex Machina. I do wonder, like, even when it comes to just different aspects of the social links, I wonder if there would be anything different if Chie was our girlfriend. I'm not entirely sure. I may want to test that with Yukiko. Well, you did a pretty good job, Naoto. Keep up the good work. Oh, what is it? A snuff soul! Thanks, Naoto! Alright, now what is her conversation? Yeah, that's the one that I was thinking about earlier. Also, it's like, man, you're dense. It's like, Yukiko, you haven't told her yet, have you? Ah, I missed. Well, I would like to check that bit and see if Yukiko has anything. Like any unique dialogue, and also see if it's any different depending on whether a girl's in a relationship with you. Anyway, before we get to that, because we also have a floor coming up which is fixed, let's go over Yosuke's evolved persona, Susano. Quick note in terms of pronunciation, how this god is pronounced, even though if we take a look at its name, you don't pronounce it as Susano-o. You don't pronounce that second O. It's just Susano. You elongate it. Why do I make a big deal of this? Well, because I have heard both types of pronunciations of this name. Whether it's an elongated O, and when they just pronounce it as two O's. Having studied Japanese for a year, it freaking irritates me when I hear it as two O's, because that's not how freaking Japanese vowels work. Sorry, little pet peeve of mine. Let's actually get to the history lesson. Minor side note, I'm getting a lot of Cascade strings. Alright, this is the last gold chest. Blizzard pin. Alright. So, Susano. Susano is the youngest of the 3 siblings born from the last portion of Izanagi's cleansing ritual after he returned from the underworld and sealing Izanami. He's very often paired with his older siblings, Amaterasu and Tsukuyomi.
Another level! Gotta keep at it!
Alright, Kanji! Now, from the moment that they were born, Susano and Amaterasu pretty much butted heads constantly. These two did not get along at all. Pretty much this was entirely due to Susano's fault, since he would very frequently kind of go overboard and destroy any number of things. From mountains, to crops, to retainers. Yeah, Susano was a wild child, to say the very least. When Izanagi charged Susano, though, with, well, the responsibilities that he gave the 3 gods, Susano surprisingly left a bit graciously. He wanted to say farewell to Amaterasu and kind of try to apologize for all the trouble he caused. Naturally, Amaterasu didn't buy it. And Susano, well, he had an idea on how to prove that he was being sincere with Amaterasu. In short, he made a bet with her. Basically, this bet involved him using Amaterasu's necklace in order to create 5 kami. If these kami were male, then it would prove that he was sincere in his words, in how he was, trying to be gracious, and how he was trying to, well, be a good person, especially when it came to leaving heaven. Amaterasu, well, she extended this a bit. She would take Susano's sword, the Totsuka no Tsurugi, and she would create 3 kami from this. If these kami were female, then it would also prove that Susano was being sincere. And when they went and created these gods, sure enough, the ones that Susano created were male, and the ones that Amaterasu created were female. Which proved that, true to his word, he was being heartfelt to Amaterasu. Of course, being who he was, he went to celebrate by wrecking Amaterasu's stuff. Now, Amaterasu got really pissed off at this, to the point that she put herself in seclusion just to get away from Susano. In fact, this caused so much trouble that when she sealed herself away, it caused the sun itself to just be gone. And it was a lot of trouble to get her out of that seclusion. Once she did leave, though, she promptly banished Susano. So yeah, he wasn't allowed to come back. Now, after he was banished, Susano was just kind of wandering the world below. And he eventually found himself in Izumo. A very popular place in these types of, well, places in history. Now, he was traveling by a river when he found an old couple and their young daughter. Surprisingly to him, all three of them were crying. And they seemed like they were in a very great amount of distress. Susano was curious about this, and he inquired to them, "Why are you crying?" Because he honestly had no idea why. He just found them like that. And the couple told them of their curse. Essentially, the couple was plagued by an 8-headed serpent called Yamata no Orochi. Every year, this serpent would come to the couple and devour one of their daughters. All the couple had in terms of children were daughters. And they originally, before Orochi came, they had 8 daughters. Now, they only had 1. The young girl that was with them. The young girl named Kushinada Hime. And the time for Yamata no Orochi to come was very soon. And if nothing was done, well, they didn't have a choice. It would come and devour Kushinada. Oh, crap!
Alright, I leveled up!
Alright, Yosuke! So they were crying because they were about to lose their last and youngest daughter. Now, Susano was actually, well, he was concerned about the young couple, and he was actually quite enamored by Kushinada. So, he offered a proposal to the couple. He promised that he would slay Yamata no Orochi and free them from this curse. But, in exchange for doing this, he wanted Kushinada's hand in marriage. He wanted her to be his bride. The 3 of them accepted Susano's proposal and were more than willing to do anything to get rid of Yamata no Orochi. Now, how was Susano planning to do this? Was he planning to just do battle with this great serpent? Well, no. Susano was actually quite crafty, and he thought of a better way to do this rather than just simply confronting Orochi head on. I'm actually going to explore around a little bit more before heading onward. Susano first hid Kushinada, and then told the couple to brew 8 very large cups of sake. Very strong sake. After they had done this, he instructed them to place these giant cups all throughout the entrances of their house. And they did. Not long after they placed these cups of alcohol, Yamato no Orochi arrived. He of course was there for Kushinada, but he smelled the very strong cups of sake and really wanted to have them. Now, Orochi would go to each of these cups and each head would go and drink the entire cup of sake. Naturally, since all these were just 8 heads and went to the same body. So all of that alcohol went straight to the entire beast's system. Ooh, new enemies.
There are 2 enemies.
Raindrop Mushas.
Wow, it's pretty. This'll be cake.
Okay, what the hell would you be weak to? I can try darkness. Let's try darkness. See if that works.
Come on, this fight's not over.
Maybe? Damn, no darkness. Alright, how about wind? Drain wind.
Not working. What is this?
Fire?
Hear me, Amaterasu!
It's fire! Thank you, Yukiko!
Our enemy is down! Ready, set!
Alright.
It will end
So with some new rain-specific enemies, are we lucky enough to get their item immediately? Dang it. Knew I shouldn't have said that out loud. So all of that alcohol went straight to Orochi's system, and he was pass out drunk. Yeah, he fell unconscious after drinking all of that alcohol. And, well, afterwards, Susano basically just went up to the beast very casually and lopped off each of Orochi's heads. Got the high speed gear from the lion wheel. So yeah, Susano just casually walked up to each of Yamato no Orochi's heads and just lopped it off, and etc. until all 8 heads were decapitated. You really didn't need to try. It was just passed down and he just went and just struck him down. Now, what was actually fascinating was that as he destroyed the last of Orochi's heads, he noticed something within the beast itself. In some versions, this is at Orochi's tail, and in others, he basically cuts open Orochi's stomach. But regardless of where this was located, on Orochi was a sword, and this sword was the Kusanagi. This was a legendary blade, perhaps the most well-known and most legendary of any sword within Japanese mythology. And you may recall from some of our previous history lessons what this sword is. So, with sword in hand and with beast slain, the couple, sure enough, true to their word, gave Kushinada to Susano, and the 2 of them were wed. Now, what did Susano do with the Kusanagi? Susano would take this sword back to heaven, where he was banished, by the way, and offer it as a gift to Amaterasu, as a means of an apology. And, surprisingly enough, Amaterasu accepted it. She accepted this sword and welcomed Susano back. Now, what exactly is so important about this sword? Well, remember our history lesson with Konohana Sakuya. the Kusanagi, along with the Yatano Kagami and the Yasakani no Makatama. These 3 items were the 3 gifts that Amaterasu gave her grandson, Nanigi, once she had gotten dominion over the land, over Earth, and named Nanigi as ruler of it. Also remember, Nanigi is the descendant, or no, it's the ancestor of Japan's legendary first emperor. The Kusanagi is the sword that makes up the 3 sacred treasures of the imperial family of Japan. And this is essentially its origin story. A prize taken from Susano from slaying the beast Orochi, and given to Amaterasu as a means of apology, who in turn would give it to her grandson as proof of his rule. So there we go. That is the story of Susano. He is involved in some other tales within Japanese mythology, but these 2 are certainly the most well-known and recognizable, especially that of Yamato no Orochi. So with that, I think we are probably good to call it a day. Let's go ahead and use a go home. I could certainly use a little bit of, well, SP recovery. Plus, I want to see if I can't try to find Yukiko in one of these things and see what exactly she says. So, first things first, the fox. Only 3,600 yen. Hell yeah. I probably should have healed up Kanji first, but that's why I have items. Alright, so I think we're probably good to call it a day here. And so I'm gonna call it here. So, next time on Let's Play Persona 4. We continue onward. We're not quite done with the exploration, though we are getting close to where the optional boss is. I'm gonna switch out Yukiko for Naoto just to see if I can't try to, well, find Yukiko within the dungeon. So, we'll see if we can't try to trigger another one of those conversations, and then take on the optional boss. And maybe do some fusions too while we're at it. Why not? So until next time, everyone, take care.